Hey guys, it's me, William, with GTA Gamers, and I'm here to announce that we are working on a special project at the moment that'll take place over the course of the next few months. We're actually looking to make a somewhat feature-length movie. Now, we're pulling all the stops for this project, and we're pretty much calling in a cast and crew, and we're getting people to help out in this movie, because this is actually one of the biggest productions that we're going to be working on. And I'm going to pretty much tell you a bit about what the movie is about right now in this video. And it's a concept that I created during the Christmas break. I was reading a lot of creepypastas, which are essentially stories about the paranormal, or in some cases haunted events that are told, and some of them are real to an extent, others are myth, fact, or fact or fiction. And in this case, it's going to be completely fiction based. We're going to pretend that it's canon to the actual Stardust Drive series, of course, but we're also going to, we're going to be taking on a bunch of actors and people who are part of Stardust Drive. So far, behind us on the project, we've got myself, we've got my brother Carter, Anthony, Chris, Emily, who you've seen as a guest co-host, and if you guys have been watching me since 173 days, we've got Adam and Ryan also behind me. We're looking to cast 2 more roles, and we're also looking to fill some positions behind the scenes as well, in terms of getting this project off the ground. So getting back to what the story is about, essentially, if you've read creepypastas before, they have some segments about haunted video game cartridges, and they're super popular on the creepypasta. In fact, they're probably one of the more popular pages from what I've been noticing. And some popular games that like to get creepypasted all the time, I've noticed Legend of Zelda is a big one. In fact, Jadusable, whatever his name is, created a complete series story arc over the concept of Ben, which is it's hard to explain it. There's this elegy statue that haunts the character Link within the game, but I was watching a series over the break, and these guys did a live action found footage inspiration of Ben, and it was a really interesting story because it ties together Link, this missing boy who drowned named Ben, the masked salesman, and also the Moon Children, who I believe were briefly touched upon in the Majora's Mask. I'm not too sure about that, don't quote me. I haven't played Majora's Mask in a long time, so it has been a while since I've checked out the game. But the Moon Children is also a cult that follows the story, and they kind of act out... Actually, you know what? The Moon Children, I believe, if you played Legend of Zelda, are the children that run around the tree, I believe, at the end of the game when you're going to fight the final boss. I believe they are the Moon Children. And that's also been developed in some sort of cult. And also popular is Pokemon. Pokemon is widely popular in creepypastas. And this is what we're going to be taking on for our project, is we're going to be making a live-action Pokemon creepypasta based off of inspirations we're taking from the hacked Pokemon Lost Silver ROM. We're also mixing some other inspirations. There was one that I read called Watcher in the Forest, which we're getting a bit of inspiration from that, or at least because I've been writing the story right now, and I think I've just finished it, and it needs to go through the editing stages right now, and then we are going to pen out a script. Me and Emily and I think Carter are going to help in penning out a script and really delving into the story a little deeper than how I've touched upon it now. I've kind of put the bare skeleton of the story together with the characters and what happens to them in the story, and so on and so forth. So essentially the story is that Anthony, who is one of our more popular co-hosts on the Stardust Drive podcast, the 4 of us usually meet and we have a Timmy's run. So in Canada we have Tim Hortons. I don't know if it's over there in the States or other countries. Tim Hortons is like a coffee place, and we usually go and we grab Tim Hortons, and then we take my car and we just go sit in the parking lot of our elementary school and we chit-chat about stuff. Well, this one night Anthony decides, he brings up that he's downloaded a hacked Pokemon Silver ROM, and we don't think anything of it. We think, okay, so it's going to give a slightly different game of Pokemon Silver. That's cool. We have Pokemon conversations and stuff like that. And the next morning, you know, a group of friends, which includes extra cast like Emily and Ryan and Adam and there's two other people, we're all supposed to be going on a big like kind of vacation to the cottage. So my actual setting, the cottage up north, and so the next morning, you know, Emily calls me and you know she's worried that Anthony is not acting he's not acting himself, so to speak. So in the story. The game itself, the hack game, is the ROM of Pokemon Silver, but it's Pokemon Lost Silver, as in what's the ROM that is usually shown on YouTube as a creepypasta. But Anthony gets fixated on the concept of Perish Song, which is the Pokemon move in the game, where if the user uses it on the opponent dies in 3 turns, I believe, along with the user. And he gets fixated on this concept of Perish Song and Celebi. And so he starts spewing cryptic messages, and the deeper story behind this is that we actually extended the story of Perish Song. I created its own little backstory. In fact, I made it seem as though the Perish Song existed way before Pokemon did. So, you know, Pokemon, it's a game created by Nintendo. Nintendo implements Perish Song as a move, so to speak. But there's a fictional backstory that added to it, which I might delve. I'm trying to think if I should delve into it now, or maybe delve into it in a future video. I might do it in a future video, just to kind of give you the bare minimum at this point. You know, Anthony kind of gets possessed by the Perish Song, and this character known as the Watcher. Oh, you know what? I might as well go into the story because like I feel like I need to explain it all. So the history that I put for the Perish Song, the Perish Song itself, is that it is. It was a song used back in the Renaissance times, also known as the Chant of Death, and you know, like the hierarchies in cities and stuff like that. You know, they would have the typical death penalty, like you know, someone rapes a child or something, and you know they get sentenced to death. Well, then the Perish Song is one of those other outlets that they would use, and when the song was played, the person died in a matter of 3 hours. From unexplained reasons. They just drop dead because the song, you know, it affects them, and you know, pretty much they die. And of course, that practice slowly dissolved over the years, and close to the 18th century, a practicing Buddhist monk he found the song, decided to kind of modernize it at that point, and he used it to kind of promote his own twisted beliefs and purposes. So he wasn't a full-fledged Buddhist, but he carried some aspects of his religion. So he believed in the concept of rebirth or reincarnation, which is something that Buddhists believe in. I had to obviously do some back research on that. And so he created this ritual using the Perish Song in which he would sacrifice 8 segments of his being into his heart, loyalty, trust, intellect, wisdom, freedom, integrity, and courage. And they would go on and they would live, and they were pretty much 8 people that would represent one of each of these segments to this character, who is, the Buddhist went by the Watcher. And like I mentioned before, the Watcher takes possession of Anthony because, you know, through the song, you know, this Buddhist was able to reincarnate himself and possess Anthony. And now the concept is, while we're on our vacation, Anthony stalks us there, like we leave him behind. And so Anthony is now, you know, enacting this ritual, so to speak. And the 8 of us up at the cottage, we are his 8 sacrifices. We are 8 parts of his being. And I thought it was an interesting story. I don't know how accurate a lot of the facts are for some of this stuff. I mean, it was a really tough write because I haven't done a lot of personal writing in since August. So, and that's a long time for me. And I haven't really delved into fiction that much because I've been working in journalism, so a lot of my writing is centered around telling the facts and, you know, interviewing sources and stuff like that. So I haven't really been focusing on more like personal creative writing, so to speak. Not saying that journalism isn't creative. So, to get back on the story, Anthony is going to try to use us as sacrifices to try to plunge the world in the darkness, evil shenanigans. So what? The script might change. The story's kind of out there. I just kind of gave you the backstory of what's going to be happening in terms of the Perish song and how that implements through Anthony's character. Sorry, I just knocked my chair down. Now, to give you a brief idea of what the schedule is going to be like, I took the break and up until this point to write the story, and now I'm going to be kind of relaying it off to Emily and Carter, who are going to be helping in terms of script and art direction and storyboard, and they're going to hopefully read it over, and I'll be assisting Carter in terms of stage direction and stuff like that, and how scenes are going to be playing out. Emily's going to help me in terms of writing and kind of making things kind of flow together better, I guess. Don't mind my phone ringing. I don't really need that. It's a long distance number. And so over the course of the next few months up until hopefully the end of April, I can at least sit down and meet with everyone individually and kind of go over what the schedule is going to be like. I know on Facebook right here I actually have like a cast list and the synopsis, and I keep updates in a group that I've made. And for YouTube, I wasn't going to make an announcement video. In fact, I was going to actually place the video out when I got it all done and edited, and I was going to almost make it like a surprise, like this is what happened, these are true live events. But that was going to be hard to believe, and I figure with a big project like this, you guys who are actually loyal followers and are actually watching these videos would want to know what the heck's going on. And, it's going to be an interesting project, and it's really helped get me back into video production and writing and just that creative side. And I would really like to see it through because I've actually got a lot of people who are on board with this project, so to let them down would almost be a killjoy, if that's the right word to use. Excuse me. So getting back on like when the project we were looking to film it, we're hoping the end of May we'll actually have maybe 4 or 5 days over the course of that we'll be filming this entire project. I'm estimating the film itself might be close to an hour. I don't see it going over or under. Maybe under. It might stagger around an hour because we're going to be fleshing out the story a bit more and kind of delving into it through the script, because the script is going to be more character driven, while the story is going to be telling the story itself, and we're going to be kind of pulling points from that because the story is a narration, so to speak, right? And in the script you got to actually pen out each line, what the person's saying, so it's the script is going to change. And some aspects of the story are going to change, but we're going to be working on that over the next few months. I've got my internship starting next week, so it's going to be going on for 6 weeks, and I'm going to have a fairly busy schedule in terms of that, and also trying to find time to work on the script. And I'm going to be trying to teach myself different techniques of editing that could help with this project, and also looking to fill those final positions that we do need in terms of cast and crew and stuff like that. So if anyone is interested in potentially helping out in some manner for the film, and you happen to live in the Greater Toronto area, shoot me a message, I guess, via YouTube, and we'll see what happens. Or any of my friends who just happen to be watching this video all the way up until the end of this point. So if you've been actually stuck around, good on you, because holy crap, this is probably going to be a long video, explaining this movie and stuff like that. If anyone is interested, I'm going to be looking around trying to find some help roles, and hopefully everyone else involved in the project is going to try a bit too. People are excited, they want to see what's going to happen, so don't want to let them down in terms of that. So shoot me a message via YouTube if you know me on Facebook. Shoot me a message via Facebook, and I will let you guys know over the course of the next few months how things are progressing and where we go from there, pretty much. So this has been William Key with GTA Gamers, and I'll see you guys around.